Welcome to the Forces Sports Show, your weekly roundup of the best action and biggest stories from across the services. Coming up in the next half hour. Celebrating silverware, the junior footballers of the senior service take the inter-services title. Claiming bronze, Corey Mapp makes the podium at the Para World Cup bobsleigh. Golden future, Sam Gowen targets Olympic success for Great Britain. We start with success for the Royal Navy in this year's Inter-Services Under-23 Football Championship. Ben Brearley scored two fantastic second-half goals as they clinched the title with a 3-0 win over the Army. Julian Evans was watching in Aldershot.
The Navy recorded the back-to-back victories that saw them win this year's title, and having beaten the Air Force earlier in the campaign, they wasted little time taking the lead against the Army in Aldershot. Peter Wright slotted home the opener after just 6 minutes. Defending champions the Army struggled to get into the contest. Lloyd Gardner saw his free kick clatter the crossbar before the ball was cleared away. And Army skipper Sean Thompson tested Navy keeper Jamie Stewart from distance, but the shot stopper was equal to the challenge. Clear-cut chances remained few and far between for both sides until the 73rd minute when HMS Heron-based Ben Brearley lashed home the Navy's second goal. With the game now looking beyond the Army. And so it proved. Brearley added his sumptuous second to add the gloss to a polished display, with the Navy running out comfortable 3-0 winners. With the Dark Blues junior side safely securing silverware, some of this victorious squad will now look to be included in the Navy's senior team. The Senior Inter-Services Championship starts next month.
This is my first Inter-Services, so really happy. Coming straight away and win it. Nothing better, no better feeling.
It's been a little while for the Navy to come battling back and winning this title, so you must be delighted, not just for yourself, but to lead this group of players.
Yeah, they're all good lads, to be fair. Every single player, and on the bench we had so much quality, it's unbelievable. Such a good squad to pick from this year. I felt sorry for the managers having to make the decision, to be honest with you.
It's a great achievement, it really is, and you know what, we knew we could do it. We had a really positive vibe amongst the group this season, but we've had to work hard today. You know, the RAF game was 2-0 down, as you know, within 15 minutes, and we had to show some great character, and we've done exactly the same today to come over with eventual winners.
You know, looking at Navy football generally, it's been a while since the senior side has challenged for senior honours, but to see this under-23 side coming away with two very handsome wins against, you know, battling inter-services opponents, it bodes well for the future of the senior service at the senior level.
Yeah, we're a small Navy, and you know what, it's a challenge getting all the guys in, and if we get them all in, there's some real quality there, as we shown 2 years ago. There's players out there, they're busy overseas, you know, it's just getting them in, and if we get them all together, we're a real force. Do you know what, I put it down to the players, but not just the players, I put it down to the units and the lads that are on board doing the duty so these lads can come and play today.
It is a collective effort when it comes to inter-services.
It really is, it really is. The players, the staff, the RNFA and the whole Royal Navy Royal Marines.
Meanwhile, Britain's Corey Mapp continues to make his mark in the world of para bobsleigh. The former soldier finished 6th in the final race of the Para World Cup in St Moritz, enough to win the bronze medal in the overall standings. Mapp could also be heading for the Winter Paralympics in 2022, with the sport now included in the programme for Beijing. He's been talking to Kyle Dixon.
For para-athlete Corey Mapp, the hard work never stops. Just a week ago, the 40-year-old was claiming an overall bronze medal at the Para Bobsleigh World Cup. Now he's back in the gym at Cirencester, alongside his coach, getting ready for the next event.
So today it was a bit of a quite nice session for Corey. It was a split day. We were working on some deadlift, a bit of a technical session, and then we did a little bit of conditioning session. Nothing at max capacity. It was all around 80% or below. So it's kind of a nice one for today.
It's been a whirlwind few months for Corey. He may have won a gold medal at the World Cup in 2015, but he is still proud of his third place finish this year.
been a very, very difficult season this season. Had a lot of people that stepped up a lot more and improved a lot more, and really pushed me to be my best. It was difficult for me also because I made some critical mistakes at some pretty critical times, and caused me to struggle a bit more than I would have liked. But in the end, we managed to pull out a good result.
Bronze medal, as I say, it's not a bad result. Are you proud of that one? I know you've won a gold before. There's still something to be proud of, surely.
Yeah, a bronze medal. I mean, it's not just one bronze medal. It's a bronze medal for over 10 races. So to be ranked number 3 in the world is not a bad thing by any stretch. Still on the podium and in the top 3 in the world. So I don't think there's anything to complain about. But being the competitive person that you are and competing at elite level, you want to be at the top. So there's work to be done to improve for next year, but I'm looking forward to it.
Coming up for the former Army Lance Corporal is the Para Bobsleigh World Championships held in Lake Placid. He says the work in the CrossFit gym is important preparation ahead of the event.
In Para Bobsleigh, we don't actually push or do anything physical like pushing the sled, but what it does is, the old adage that if you're fit in your body, you'll be fit in your mind and you can handle more things. So for me, I'm trying to make fitness a lifestyle thing. It's difficult. I do try. Sometimes I slip backwards a little bit, but with my coaches and stuff to keep me working and going forward. So I'm just gonna. It's a work in progress basically, and I'm just gonna keep working at it and hopefully try and implement it into day-to-day life.
For Corey, very much CrossFit was good for him mentally, for his mental game. It's always a constant challenge. It's always varied, so he always has to try and work out what he's doing. And again, for bobsleigh, that's really, really important. It is a mental game. You have to be so focused. So I feel like it was the right move to do, to challenge him in that way, which we hadn't done in previous years.
Matt has been able to compete at a number of different competitions, including the Invictus Games. But there is one event that he is still aiming for, the Paralympics.
That's the one thing that's missing. That's the one carrot we're trying to get.
He has a month's worth of hard work in the gym before travelling to America for the World Championships in March.
Former RAF serviceman John Allen Butterworth will be looking to add to his medal haul for Great Britain next month. He's been named in the squad for the Paracycling Track World Championships, which are taking place in the Netherlands. Butterworth has already won 3 titles at previous championships and also claimed a gold medal for Team GB at the Rio Paralympics when he was part of the mixed team sprint. Voting is now open for the 2019 Soldiering On Awards, which will be presented in London on the 5th of April. They honour the achievements of individuals and teams involving current and former servicemen and women. Kath Brazier has been to meet James Simpson, one of the finalists for the People's Choice Award.
There's nothing quite like the crunch of wheelchair on, well, wheelchair, a sound not uncommon to the Leeds Rhinos wheelchair rugby league team.
I grew up playing rugby union for my school, but playing rugby league on a night and then going along to Headingley Stadium to watch Leeds play, which is a huge thing. If you're from Leeds, you watch Leeds Rhinos, it's what you do. And I moved back to Leeds and tried a few different sports, and I didn't really find the sport that I really enjoyed. And then one night I was at Headingley watching the game and I saw the wheelchair guys, so I went along and kind of made a few inquiries and then started playing for them. And when I started playing, we had like 6 people in the squad, and we only had 6 teams in the country, and now it's boomed into such a huge game, and it's kind of become such a huge part of my life as well.
A lifelong rugby fan, James joined 1st Battalion, the Yorkshire Regiment in 2001. By 2009, he'd moved to 5th Regiment Royal Artillery, and whilst on a routine foot patrol in Afghanistan, he tripped an IED. He lost both his legs, 3 fingers and the muscle from his right forearm. Rediscovering his love for this sport, albeit the wheelchair version, not only got him out of the house, it's completely changed his life.
And I never had dreams of representing my country, but which I ended up doing that. And then I'd never had dreams about getting a job or getting a career as such through it. And then when I'm working for the World Cup as the sole wheelchair ambassador, as the first ever wheelchair ambassador for the game, it's crazy, but it's amazing. And if you'd asked me a year ago, 2 years ago, if it was ever going to happen, I'd have said, nah, we're never going to have someone in that position. And now, like, luckily it's me, and it's all down to just me working really hard for my club and kind of performing on the field and off the field with things as well, trying to promote the game, and it's kind of rewarded me with a huge opportunity to really grow the game and get out there.
James joined the Leeds Rhinos team 7 years ago when there were only 6 players in the squad and only 6 teams in the country. Now there are 20 teams, and last September saw Leeds crowned champions with victory over favourites Halifax in the grand final.
James Simpson puts the ball out of play and Leeds go absolutely bananas.
Fantastic scene.
The Rugby League World Cup in England in 2021 will be the first time in history that the men's, women's and wheelchair events have been run simultaneously.
It's sometimes quite intimidating, at the same time it's incredible and it's amazing, and then I find myself going along to meetings and I'm sat there and there's people sat next to me that as a child I used to idolise, and I'll walk in and they'll be like, oh, do you want a brew? And I'll be like, yeah, I'll have a brew, and it feels great, it's incredible, but at the same time it shows how far we've come as a game. Like I said, we had 6 teams, now we've got 20. We've got an army team now, you know, we've got teams in Scotland, teams in Wales, teams down south as far as Kent. The game itself has boomed, and they're recognising that and kind of getting us rolling into more integrated into the running side of it and the running side of the game.
James Simpson is many things, a captain, a mentor and ambassador. But when he gets on the wheelchair rugby court, the years dissolve and he's the Leeds Rhinos fan of his childhood. He says his nomination for a Soldiering On Award is more in recognition of the growing popularity of his sport than it is about him.
Any nomination for an award is important, and I think the thing about the Soldiering Awards as well, which is quite nice, is it recognises soldiers who've left and moved on and have soldiered on away from kind of being in the military, and it kind of shows how far I've come as well from being in the army to leaving the army to now at this stage of my life where I'm working for the World Cup and I'm representing my country. And I think the whole point of the awards is to show you've moved on and you've soldiered on, and that is quite a big deal for me to kind of know that I've been nominated for an award to show how far my journey's led me and how far I've come.
James has been nominated for the People's Choice Award, which means the public get to vote for their favourite. The polls are open already and the awards take place on April the 5th.
Now, after winning a bronze medal for pistol shooting at the Commonwealth Games, Sam Gowan is now targeting a place at the Olympics. It'll be a big step up for the Royal Artillery Sergeant, so he's been training at a special indoor facility at Hanover in Germany. Rob Olver has more.
Sergeant Sam Gowan has been pistol shooting since he joined the Army in 2007, but only 2 years ago he entered a military programme that developed soldiers' competitive shooting skills. Troops to Target aims to put the Army's leading rifle and pistol experts into the Great Britain squad. And Sam Gowan is Troops to Target's greatest success story. At the 2018 Commonwealth Games, his rapid-fire pistol work won him a bronze medal. There's now talk that the man from 16 Regiment Royal Artillery could go even further.
If Sam works really, really hard, we could potentially see him acquire a place for the Olympics. Whether he's selected for the Olympics or not, even just being selected is an achievement in the short amount of time. But I'm looking for more of 24 at Paris.
Olympic selection will depend on performances against the world's best. Sam Gowan will have the chance soon when he represents Britain at World Cups in Beijing, Munich and Rio.
It's going to be a very, very difficult ladder to climb. I've started this very late. I've only been shooting rapid fire for nearly 2 years now. The world's best shooters are really, really top quality shooters. You go to an event which is recognised as a quota place event, and the top 2 people of that event will get through to the Olympics. It's very, very difficult. You could be the best shooter in the world, but still mess it up on the day, and you won't go.
Germany will be one of the countries to beat, and Sam Gowan's coaching team includes a man who has trained German Olympic shooters.
On each level of shooting, wherever you are, can learn.
Philip Bernhardt says his British student has come far in a short time, but there is much more to do.
For the rest of the world, the Commonwealths are a good event, but not the high level. The World Cup class and the Olympic class is a completely different thing. And there you have to shoot 583, 585 to reach a final. And the final means only the chance to get a medal. and his level is in the moment 570, 575. So we missed 10 points to get this level, to get Olympic medals. But I think he has a chance to reach that.
According to Philip Bernhardt, it could take several years gaining experience at internationals. The British Army gunner, he says, has the talent and discipline, but needs to develop psychologically. Success, he argues, depends on ignoring the big-name competitors, cameras and crowds.
When I was at the Commonwealth Games, that was the biggest nerves I've ever felt in my life. Nervous to the point of thinking, am I actually going to do this? But at the end of the day, you have to stick to your process and just trust it and just shoot through the nerves. You can't, there's no other way of trying to calm yourself, really.
And the training, typically 6 days a week, won't stop. The Army has given Sergeant Sam Gowan the time to offer his best. He wants to return the favour. He knows that in another career, shooting for his country would be impossible.
The British Army clay target shooting team have introduced a new Olympic pathway programme. It's hoped that Forces athletes can one day shoot their way to podium success. Julian Evans went to see the team at Bisley.
Following the success of other Army shooting disciplines, including target rifle and rapid-fire pistol, the British Army shooting team clay targets have set their sights on Olympic glory. In partnership with British Shooting, they've put in place a 5-year Olympic pathway programme. There is talent within the ranks. The challenge now is getting those athletes on the podium.
We've recognised through shooting, not necessarily through clay targets more recently, that there has been that success both at major events and indeed the Commonwealth Games, and we're looking to emulate that with clay target shooting.
With the clays travelling at 80 miles per hour, clay target shooting requires skill, stamina and discipline. At Olympic level, competitors participate in trap and skeet.
In essence, with the Olympic trap, it's traps that are dug into a bunker out to the front and fire in a particular sequence. The Olympic skeet, 2 towers, left to right, and the variation targets in between.
Of course, shooting does have its part in being in the military, so what are you hoping to get from these guys, because they are soldiers first and foremost?
Yeah, that's right. I mean, whilst it's really good fun and we take this seriously as a sport, it has that crossover into operational shooting. And indeed, the ability to shoot instinctively from a gun-down position at a moving target has that direct crossover into the day job.
To give the Army athletes every chance to gun for glory, they will receive regular coaching sessions from British Shooting. Honing skills specific to Olympic skeet and trap take time to perfect.
With the rifle shooting and handguns, if they get to use them, they're taught to aim the gun. With this, you're not aiming, you're pointing. You're actually looking away from the gun almost.
So this is your first chance to work with these soldiers. You know, what are your initial thoughts?
Actually, I'm quite impressed. They've learnt a lot today already. You know, the learning curve is quite steep to start with, but actually we've done some good work today and they've done really well.
One of those with Olympic aspirations is Stephen Hughes. The Welshman will shoot for a place on the Welsh team this year, but he already has the Paris Olympic Games in his sights.
100%, yeah. That's what I want to go on. That's what my aim is for 2024. Everything I do at the current always attributes to my shooting. So whether that's in the gym, whether I do my nutrition correctly, every bit of training I do is towards everything I do on the range.
Yes, it's probably one of those sports that people dismiss as not needing to be fit, but we know from talking to shooters from the Army that compete in the other disciplines, fitness really is key, both physically and mentally as well.
Yeah, and that comes from my day job as well, because I'm in the Royal Army Physical Training Corps, and everything that we do here equates to what we do in the field also. You imagine going out in the fob, going on a patrol for a short period of time, having that mental capacity to take everything in. You're coming back in, you regrouping, and then you're going back out. It's exactly the same as shooting an Olympic trap. You know, you shoot in one line, you come off, you have to, you had a bad line, recoup, and then have to go back on again and trying to get maximum effort out of that.
It's early days, but these Forces athletes will do all they can to hit the top in the coming years.
And that's it for this week. Don't forget you can see all the action as we get it on forces.net and this show and more on YouTube. So the Navy's footballers have won the Inter-Services Junior Championship and the focus now turns to the senior competitions. Will it be another Army double in 2019? We'll leave you with the best of the action from last year. Bye for now. Bye.